Back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Cancer. Know that energy is fluid. Just interpret the message as it best resonates. Cross watchers are more than welcome to watch because, again, the message might resonate more with you. The message always tends to go to the person that has the most anxiety about the situation, or I should say, the storyline plays out from that person's perception, which the person that is actually in need is the person that's getting triggered, the person that is usually feeling as if there's something wrong with them, something wrong with the connection, something wrong. See, there's only two energies, love and fear. And love is when we're in a place of peace of mind, when we're at a place of ease, when we're not nervous, stressed out, and in a place of fear. Now, the fear that we hold inside of us is held in body as stress, but it's created from psychological and emotional blocks. And these blocks are just perceptions. They keep us locked in to a perception of disempowerment, limitation. So we're down here in physical form to learn and to manifest. You're supposed to be learning that you're not separate from the universe, not separate from God, because God is the universe, and that's the energy of unconditional love. However, we're born into very dysfunctional families because we're born into collective karma. So we inherit collective karma, which means we are born in environments that form behaviors and habits that are in alignment with what's happening within the world. Well, when slavery was happening, people formed obviously behaviorisms to deal with that segregation, with that trauma. Then other people, like women that were persecuted in the witch trials, well, they also formed behaviorisms to deal with, to overcompensate for the imbalances that were going on in the world. And an example would be pretending that you're not intuitive because you don't want to get hung. And another one might be if you were a Black person and you didn't want to be a slave, be bought, you'd have to hide and maybe live somewhere like in a cave so no one could find you. But that was like your reality, that the situations, the traumatic situations that happen in our everyday life, that happen collectively, we inherit and we form behaviorisms, but we also, on top of that, form behaviorisms and habits from the families that we're born into and just people that we're around from our environment. Epigenetics tells us that our environment creates our reality. And it does so because, like I said, we form core beliefs that are in alignment with what we perceive, and then we form these habits and behaviors that are in alignment with those core beliefs. So what normally is created for survival, once we get out of that environment, they no longer serve and support us. They actually work against us. So how would we know? We wouldn't know. The only way we would know is by what manifests within our outside world. That's why the saying goes, what's within is without. We're a mirror of who and what comes into our life, meaning you get what you need. You don't always get what you want, but you always get what you need to help support you, to help grow you, to help you evolve into the highest state of consciousness, which is unconditional love. So we get soulmates, and soulmate families come in all different forms. We have the past life soulmate, we have the past life karmic mate, we have the twin flame past life karmic mate, we have the just family soulmate, and just a regular soulmate. And as anyone could be a soulmate. Anything could be a soulmate. Even your dog could be your soulmate. It's any spirit that was supposed to come into your life. So all these spirits come into your life. And we also have people that are not soulmates just come in and out of our life. The soulmates are ones that come in to teach us and to grow us and to shape us into the people that we are. However, sometimes these experiences play out as negative life experiences that create pain. So today we're going to look and see how your situation is playing out with a person that you are in separation with. We're going to ask why you're in separation from your person and why your person is actually your person, meaning why did you attract this person? Because if it's a negative experience that's playing out, it's mainly because you're not aware of what you need to heal. So we look at your inner child wounds for that. And then we see how to integrate your spiritual lesson, because without actually the integration process, you don't learn. Many people are aware of what created the trauma after a while. They say, oh, my parents were abusive. I didn't have a parent. I watched my mother suffer. Whatever the story was, it's not really important about the story. We tend to get stuck in the story because we can't find a solution. And that's when we begin to ruminate on an experience that we just can't find a solution. It just doesn't seem right. And that's when we know that we have a block. Problem is with a block, it creates a lot of emotional turbulence, which is a lot of frustration. So how do we see that? We also see that within our soul relationships. So that's why you want to do these type of readings, because integrating the spiritual lesson helps you alchemize your negative energy, because once you learn and you see a different perception of your situation, you have transmuted it only as far as with the mind. You still need to ground the spiritual lesson, which means embody the situation, embody the new reality in order to see yourself different, the experience different, in order to really transcend the limitation of that experience that kept you in a place of disempowerment. All right, I know that that was a lot, but I always feel led to do a little bit of a channel before each reading to help you understand what shadow healing really is all about, so that you can transcend the limitations of your mind, so that you can create your own heaven on earth, which means that whatever limitation that you see within your current reality, which is, I don't have enough, I'm not enough, I don't feel good, like negative energy plays out as all different karmic themes, but they bring us to a place of pain. And the worst thing is when we feel stuck and that we can't actually transcend, but we can. Our body and mind are self-healing organisms. It's all about healing. Now, it doesn't mean that it won't be scary, because doing something different is scary. However, you have to walk through the fear. So if you are someone that is seeking shadow healing, you definitely want to check out my Psychic Soul Healing Coaching Program, because it doesn't only come with inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, but all the healing modalities to heal the effects of trauma. We do breath work, we do EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. Need a sip. Sorry, I had a tickle in my throat. Emotional freedom technique. We do a lot of different exercises to help you rewire your mind, so you can rewire your nervous system, because your body and mind work together. Trauma creates detachment where it no longer is working together. Detachment is a form of dissociation, which also happens when we no longer can connect emotionally with people because the trauma was so bad. Then we have trust issues, and then those experiences within our relationships will always reflect those trust issue, that main trust issue that we had. So It doesn't mean that it's not scary, as I said. However, to be able to recondition your nervous system and to rewire your mind, you really do shed those behaviorisms, those habits that are keeping you stuck in a place of limitation. Now, without further ado, oh, and check out the description box because that's where all the important links are. Other YouTube channel, my Patreon, where my subscriptions are, just everything that's important you can find there. Also, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to want to be open to getting a shadow reading. You have to be open to also be getting it live because all my readings are done live. I believe in spiritual law, what's best for everyone that's involved. And which means not just you and me, but people on YouTube collectively that resonate with the message. These are healing style readings again. So if you want to, you need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video. And the word of the video is merciless forgiveness. That's the word that you're going to write in your comment bar. The tough one, forgiveness, merciless forgiveness. It's like when a person doesn't really deserve to be forgiven. And it's because they do things that they know are wrong, that they know when they do things to be hurtful, to keep you in a place of limitation, to keep you in a place of disempowerment, to keep you in a place of fear. And that's fear of not being loved, not being accepted, to feel as if there was something wrong with you, when really I'm feeling like you're connected to someone that 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 needs you to have merciless forgiveness on them. I believe that that's not something that's really hard for you, that that's a spiritual wound that you have. Now, I don't know if I mentioned, but the word that you write in your comment bar is always the word that I start my readings off with. And today, Spirit just had a lot to say right about merciless forgiveness because it's a hard spiritual lesson. But what keeps us stuck? What keeps us stuck in a place of limitation is when we go through an experience that we just can't wrap our head around why someone would treat us a certain way, why someone would do certain things to hurt us. And I'm feeling as if, Cancer, you grew up in an environment where it was harsh. It was harsh where a parent took out on you their frustration and their anger and what was done to them in childhood. So it was like you were born into ancestral karma. And so when we're born into ancestral karma, unfortunately, the lessons that we need to learn are really hard lessons. They're ones about self-worth. They're ones about financial stability. They're ones about forgiveness. They're ones about obtaining compassion. They're harder lessons, and they're harder lessons because of, again, the experiences that our ancestors went through. Knew that there was a reason why I channeled that in the beginning of the reading. So it's like inherited. So it's not just inherited if you grew up in during the time of slavery or a war or whatever was going on collectively, but also whatever your family was dealing with. And I'm feeling as if that you grew up in an alcoholic family. You grew up in a family where it was really imbalanced and codependent. You had one parent that held their home together, that did everything. They were in charge of everything. And the other person just kind of went along with everything and wasn't really emotionally connected or didn't really seem emotionally connected. And I feel like they drank a lot. So there was a sense that they were detached, disassociated, that they were there, but they weren't really there. And so there was a lot of screaming and yelling in the environment that you grew up in. And so your parents couldn't be there because they were dealing with their own trauma. And you were dealing with one parent that was really angry all the time, and he took their frustration out on you. So when you were being brought up, you felt like you weren't loved. You felt like you weren't accepted. You felt like there was something wrong with you. So now I'm feeling like you've attracted someone into your life that kind of made you feel this way. However, on a spiritual level, you feel as if you're supposed to be with this person. You feel like this person's familiar, that you could see how this connection should have worked out, but your person deliberately does things to make it not work out, because in order for it to work out, you have to disempower yourself. You have to actually like dummy down. And this is why you're like, no, I'm not going to do this. But so you're still in this place where it's bringing up all this emotion and of anger, but it's not just from this relationship, this current relationship. The karmic theme is merciless forgiveness, learning how to forgive, how to let go, how to forgive. Because if you don't forgive, you never let go. And so that keeps you stuck in a limited mindset because you are actually holding on to the energy of anger and resentment, and you're not in a place of love. So you can't manifest during that time. And there's also a sense of, because you didn't get it, that there's something wrong with you. You just haven't figured out what is wrong with you. When really there's nothing wrong with you. It's just if you haven't developed any part of yourself because you're stuck in a place of anger, and because you're stuck in that mindset, it's like a draining of energy, because you only have so much time, energy, focus, and money. And so if your energy is mainly, the focus is on being angry, and you are angry, then you're not creating yourself. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not doing anything else. It usually means you're scattering your energy and you're not really feeling like you're resonating or connecting with anyone. And it's mainly because merciless forgiveness. So I feel like you have that, but I also feel like your person, the person that you're connected to, has that wound also, where they need to forgive something that happened in their family. And I don't know why I'm feeling this. And this is going to be for a selected few, but I feel like they were like molested. I feel like they really need to forgive. Like there was a sense of real betrayal there. And so from day one, they just like had such a horrific experience in childhood. And when that happens, then all other relationships that play out as ones that keep you in a place of victimization, because you feel like you're continually getting betrayed by people that are close, so you can no longer trust. And that's the problem when you don't forgive. So I feel like that happened to your person. And then for you and your person, the person that you and your person both need to forgive each other, because you both got triggered. I hope you followed that from this little word. I picked up all that information, and we're going to see why I picked up that, what actually played out within your situation by looking at your cards, looking at the triggers, and trying to understand what type of relationship this is and how to balance it if it can be balanced. Because a lot of times your soul relationships, they're karmic, which means learn. It doesn't always mean learn bad. It can mean you learn that you can actually make a karmic connection work, but it's going to take forgiveness, letting go of the past, starting over, good communication, and other things. So we can look then too at what else would need to be integrated in order to balance out the situation. Okay, without further ado, let's just jump in and let's look, because I know that you and your person are in a place of needing some merciful forgiveness with each other. So it means that this person doesn't really deserve to be forgiven because what they did, but they also believe that they don't deserve to be forgiven because of what has happened to them. They don't believe that they're a good person, is what I'm feeling. So it's ruins. So there's a sense that they they create drama everywhere where they go. And so they no longer need, like, really at this stage of the game, they need to do healing. I feel like every time you and this person get into a connection, get back into a relationship, and they never really are 100% in the relationship. I feel like they have one foot in, they have one foot out, they create a lot of drama, and then they leave. And they're really at this place within their life that they're looking at the things that no longer serve them in their life, because there's also a sense that they want to make change, but in order to make change they need to make room for that change. And so but which in ruins is actually good, but it's not good when you leave situations on bad terms. Just knocked over my water bottle. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, again, struggle. So, like, everything's a struggle for this person. It's like they come in, they create a lot of drama, and then everything's a struggle to get the situation balanced. And I feel like they go from one relationship into another relationship, and what happens is the relationship that they leave, they leave in ruins. And so there was a sense of them running from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship till they finally came to you. And though there is a real spiritual bond there, there's still a lot of struggle. And there's a struggle because this person doesn't know how to surrender, doesn't know how to be in an intimate relationship. So they tend to, like, I feel like they would not commit to you. They acted as if the relationship wasn't as important. They acted as if, and that's how I feel like they leave the relationship in ruins. They play games. They have one foot in, they have one foot out there. They're like, they make it known that they don't want to be in a committed relationship. But again, they can still feel you. There is a telepathic connection. And so I feel like it's very difficult for this person to just forget about you. They want to forget about you. This person has a big ego. This is why it's asking for merciless forgiveness. And the irony is, I feel like your person actually thinks that you need to forgive them. And that's when a person is wounded and they don't heal. And that's what we see. We know that from the channel, that you're in connection with someone that needs forgiveness. They need to forgive themselves for, again, being angry for what they went through, for what they contributed to the situation, or just for being angry. Sometimes we go through experiences that we had no control over, but we still tend to blame ourselves. So it's about taking forgiveness for yourself if that's what you need to do, finding a way to do that, and as well as learning how to forgive the entire situation. And because what I'm feeling is that this person, because they never really, they've never healed it, they can't go deep into a deep relationship. They create a lot of drama, which is like this false passion. And then until the relationship is completely in ruins, and then they go into another relationship. There's many flings. So, but every single person that they've been with, I feel like can tell you the same story, that it's the same thing. So I feel like this person is very good looking. They're very charming. They're very charismatic. They can, win you over with them. They look really good on the outside. The packaging is good, meaning they look good. The job is good. The car is nice. Everything again looks good. But again, this person is so wounded, and they feel wounded. And they feel wounded because they leave a trail of ruins everywhere where they go. Please be patient with me. This person wants to come back into your life because I'm feeling as if they know that it's been like a really long time that they've been in disconnection from you, that they were trying to like scare you and hope that you would call them. They were trying to manipulate you. This person, like I said, is a master manipulator. They're because they date a lot of people, and people tend to have the same habits, and they tend to, women pretty much are gonna act the same way. Men are pretty much gonna act the same way, in their relationships. You're only gonna date like 1 out of 10 people that don't do the same thing. And what that means is if you really like someone, you're gonna give them the time. You're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. You very rarely do you meet someone that you really have this soul connection to, and they're gonna have strict boundaries, and they're gonna be like, prove to me, and they're not gonna, people usually have their guard down when you have a soul connection with someone, when you have a bond with someone, because you think that you're dealing with a person that you're really not dealing with. You think you're dealing with the person's potential and not really who they are. And that's why I said this person has really good packaging. But really they're so wounded inside that they date a lot of people. They study all these people's behaviorisms, what they notice, and they just intuitively know how to act. But I don't feel like that game played with you. I said it very rarely. I abandon people to make myself feel more important. And that's what I'm saying. This person has an intimacy issue because that's what happens when we are sexually molested a lot of times. And even if you weren't sexually molested, if a parent or a caregiver showed betrayal to you at such a young age and continued to do it over and over and over again, well, it's betrayal. And that will play out continuously as karmic themes. And karmic themes where you then attract a person like this. And the person like this is someone that is extremely wounded, that's terrified of intimacy, that's terrified of getting hurt, but they continually hurt other people. I find you incredibly attractive. That's why they can't walk away because there's a lot of passion there. If I believe me, they try to. I don't even think that this person would have looked at half the shit that they've done in this connection, to be honest with you. I don't know what I want. Yeah, because they're conflicted. There's part of them that's like, I'm afraid to get into another relationship because if I get into another relationship, it's only going to end up in ruins anyway. It never goes good. I always wind up getting hurt. I'm always the victim, that I always get betrayed. This person doesn't know what they do. And what I feel like they do is that they're not a genuine person. They're coming from the persona of themselves, the mask, and it's phony. And because it's phony, a lot of times they attract people, or they have attracted people that are either phony or people that, you know, are extremely genuine and give to them and give to them and give to them and give to them, and then wind up because of the packaging and not really who the person is. And then the person, your person shows them who they really are. And then the people that have overgiven, then there's payback. There's payback. And that's really what I feel like. I feel like that your person makes a lot of promises. They come on very strong. They're very smooth, and they've gotten into like, they get into connections for a good time, not a long time, but unfortunately a few times they've gotten into a relationship where they were planning on just being here for a short time, and the person was like, no, 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 you're going to be here for a long time, and you're going to pay me, or you're going to do this, or you're going to do that. And that's because they are not genuine. I just feel like with you, they they weren't planning on a real deep relationship. They've never had a spiritual connection. That's really what it feels like. They've never really had a spiritual connection, so they're confronted with something new that's making them question what they want. Do you want a deep relationship? I think that there's part of them that does, but there's obviously all the unhealed crap there. That's the ego that says no, can't be in another relationship because I really like this one. This one really can hurt me. It's their perception of how they look at relationships based on what has happened that is making them hold back, which is kind of like coming out a little bit like they're game playing, because again, I'm gonna hold back, I want to scare you so you call me, so you come to me, which is part of their little game, because they've dated a lot of people, so they know like what people tend to do. And what people tend to do is, oh, I like you, like I'll give you another chance. Like if you tell me like a whatever, like a little excuse, I'm gonna buy it because I like you, I like the packaging, I see your potential, and then they get hurt. And then, they leave, it creates a lot of drama sometimes. So your person's like, I don't know what I do, but I don't know if it's me or I just that other people are this way. Like if it's a woman, then all men feel this way. If it's a guy, it's well, women treat me this way. So they're like, they keep reliving that karmic theme. So they believe that they can't really be in a relationship, which is why they don't really know what they want. However, there is this unconditional love that you and your person have because it is a soul mate. But I believe it's a past life karmic mate because obviously there's a lot of lessons to be learned with your person. They need to do healing because right now they're stuck in a limited perception of themselves that they really can't be in a relationship, when really it's like you really can't be in a relationship if you're only going to be here for a good time, not a long time, and if you don't heal the things that you need to heal. Mirrors, I've watched you change and grow so much. I'm trying to release my attachments to identity so I can change too. So like I said, I feel like they there is this unconditional love where they know that you're like it's an important connection, that you're a spiritual connection, but they also tend to, I feel like, use you as a muse a little bit, like because you didn't act the way that other people acted. Like you stood up for yourself, which made them look at themselves, and their ego is why I felt like they watched you from afar, because they were like, what would you walk away from me from? Why aren't you gonna like put up with what I'm giving to you? Why, I'm such a good catch. I have many flames. A lot of people like me. You should like me too. Like you'll be back. Everyone comes back. And none of that happened. And so of course their ego was like, well, I'm curious, what are you doing? Like, who are you running around with? You probably left for someone else. When really, I don't really feel like you left for someone else. You left because this person wasn't treating you right. And that's why your person is like, I do have feelings, but I don't know what I want because there's still all this wounding, which is why I did what I did to begin with. And I see that I need to do healing right now. I need to release attachments to my fake identity. And my fake identity really is like this person that doesn't care, like that the mask part of self that we tend to create because of trauma. We don't, no one's walking around saying that they don't like who they are. I don't like me. I don't like me. I don't like, that's all subconscious. And so the mind doesn't feels inadequate. So what happens is we then try to make ourselves look more perfect. we wind up overcompensating, and there's an energy that we can feel that it's not genuine when other people do it. It's like when someone that like like someone that wears a lot of cologne and a lot of makeup, and they might talk really loud and be like, they're overcompensating. They're overcompensating because they don't feel as beautiful without their makeup. They don't feel. So that's when we're out of balance, we will overcompensate, not just within what we feel like our appearance needs to look like. We would overcompensate as well in our actions, where maybe I overgive. If I love you, I like you, I might like you or like you too much right away. I overgive and trust too much. When someone undercompensates, they don't give enough. They breadcrumb, they act like they don't care, they shut down. So a lot of times these the, we pull people into our life that will, like, again, will come from their persona, and instead of who they truly are, which is what your person was trying to do. They feel a lack. So what were they running around? They were acting like a Don Juan, or I don't know what you would call a Donette wand, like a girl player, like, because I'm like, I don't care. I don't know what I want. But really, what's at the source is the fact that they're wounded. And it doesn't look like they are in a place of ready to heal either. I long for your kisses and your touch. However, there's a lot of passion there. So my fear with that is, when you have somebody that has a lot of wounded, it's like they do then tend to, you know, fall in love, and with the stage of falling in love. Passion, it's an addictive thing. It's almost like a person that drinks a lot, smokes a lot, goes from relationship to relationship. It releases a lot of endorphins, those feel good chemicals, the serotonin chemical that makes us again release the endorphins. So my point is, it's like your person, because they don't feel good about who they are, and they don't get deep, they don't have these deep intimate connections. There's a lot of passion. So again, that is a cocktail a little bit for toxic, and because again, they haven't healed anything. So it doesn't mean that they don't. If you were to ask them, that they wouldn't have feelings, I think that they do have feelings, but we are going to ask the hidden truths. I don't think that it's just passion. I think that it's just that they don't know how to be. And that's the problem. This person would have walked away a long time ago. Problem is that they can't. Finding out the truth crushed me. Again, they thought you were going to chase them. They thought that you were going to, like, that you were so in love with them, like everyone else, that when they saw that you were not, I feel like that crushed them. It put a blow to their ego. And you're like, but what they did was wrong. It doesn't matter. This person is used to having many flames, again, that run around and do exactly what they want. So they expected you to do the same. You didn't do the same. You showed them a side of you that that they didn't know existed. I hide behind material things. Still talking about their inadequacy. So things are not them, just the same as um, running around with a lot of people is not them, but all these things are avoidance. All these things are ways to make them not actually do the healing that they need to do. I hope that you can forgive me one day. I don't feel like this person's strong enough to do the healing, to be honest with you. I don't. I don't feel like they want to. I'm gonna pull three more just to see. But I feel like they're in a place where they want you to forgive them, but they don't know what to do. to ask for forgiveness because that would require change. And they don't know how to do that. It would require healing. That's why the situation is for that. There is something I am hiding from you. Yeah, this is like this person, like, is I'm not even gonna pull anymore because they they hide who they are. They don't want to let you in. They don't want to really show you who they are because they don't like who they are. They also don't really know whether they can trust you, not because of you, but because of the past relationships, because of what they create, because they don't really trust them. They know that it's them. They wish that the relationship could be different. They wish that they didn't treat you the way that they did because they want forgiveness. And they keep saying, I want forgiveness, I want forgiveness, but they don't know how to like ask for it, but it would require also to be a little humble, which would mean they would have to again uh surrender their ego, take off that mask, and they're not willing to do that. So we have to ask, why did you attract this person into your life? What are you supposed to be learning? Because this was a hard relationship. Truth, like the truth of, I believe, first of all, being true to yourself. What do you really want? The truth of what kind of life do you want? And the truth of who this person is. It's not the connection that you have. Yes, I have a soulmate, twin flame connection, a past life connection. I get it, Cancer. However, if that person is going to show you that they can't commit, that they can't do the healing that they actually need to do, that they're willing to sabotage every single connection that they get involved in, leave it in ruins, and they just run into another connection, they're not going to know how to treat you any different. And that's why this person's used to treating people, being with people on a lower vibration, used to them doing all the work or fixing it or playing games and then getting what they want. That didn't happen with you. And it was about being true to yourself and knowing the truth of what you want, knowing the truth of, just because I have a spiritual connection to you, physically what you're showing me, what you're showing me within your actions isn't good enough for me. That's the truth. And I have to live my truth. So it was about being true to yourself. As I said, that's how you show self-love. That's how you show boundary. And people aren't going to like that all the time. This person didn't like it. They certainly didn't think you were going to do it. They're used to people not doing it. So you earn this person's respect, which is why they're looking at you and they're saying, wow, I'm really attracted to you. I'm really hot for you. I wish I didn't lie because see, like, what a great person you are. And you actually have great morals now, but kind of fucked it all up like I fuck everything else up. And so that it almost gives them permission to stay in this place of lack and limitation to not heal. Again, unworthy, unworthy. So maybe at one time you felt unworthy of love yourself. These are inner child wounds. So we have to say you would attract a person that would actually make you feel unworthy. And so it was about knowing your truth, not being able to live your truth as a child also, because it was imbalanced. And if you felt like you were unworthy, you're not going to really want to create any any problems or any attention towards yourself because you felt like you were unworthy. So this was all about healing your inner child wounds. You attracted this person into your life because you had deep wounds, and those wounds were healing unworthiness. So I'm going to leave that there, Cancer. I hope you resonated with this. And I am happy if you did, because it means that you passed the karmic test because you're living your truth. You know your worth. And that's, again, that's how you transcend the limitations of your mind. You had to attract this person, go through the experience and leave and choose yourself. And that's what I saw here. So messages from the universe. What kind of energy to really leave this reading off? What's the healing message? The healing message here, choice. I choose serenity, light, and positive energy no matter what I go through. I choose happiness. I rise above fear and direct my thoughts to God. So again, it was a choice that that yes, this person, there was a spiritual connection and there was passion, obviously, because this person is like, I miss you, I'm hot for you. That's all that they really kept focusing on. I feel like not really remorse. It's like, oh, I'm so broken. I have problems and I did a lot of things. Do I think you're a great person? Yeah, but I don't really know how to fix it. So again, person's not on your vibration. And so you were presented with a choice. Yes, you can have someone that you're attracted to that looks good on the outside, but that's what it's going to be. Or you can choose yourself and you can put the energy into yourself. And that will enable you to see a different version of yourself. That you'll give yourself the love. So you'll then be able to get different manifestations within your life, which are in resonance with unconditional love. And that's how you can really forgive people that harm you. Because a lot of times we get stuck in a place of limitation where we can't forgive because we feel as if someone did something to us, that all of a sudden they broke us, or now like they ruined us, and really no one can take what's yours. It's a perception. It's a perception. There's many different realities that play out. Yes, that might have been able to be a reality and one which you might have really liked a lot. However, it's again, it was if it was lost, it wasn't meant for you. We can't really lose what's ours. And so the choice really was to choose yourself, but also to forgive. And though a lot of times we can't forgive, like I say, unless we see a different version of ourselves. So I like that because it's like rising above fear. It's like I don't want to be in a relationship that it's all about like in and out and not making me feel secure and making me feel a certain way, which is a lot less than what I deserve, making me feel as if I need to keep playing all these games. It's a choice, and my choice was to again choose me, and that was very inspiring, like I said, for this person. So I'm going to leave that there, Cancer. You let me know whether you resonated with this video, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.